Alrighty. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Duster Squad podcast. We are back after a 2-week hiatus of some kind. Ish. 2-week hiatus. Benny, it's been about a month for old Benny.
Yeah, it's
And
been a minute.
yeah, we had to get back into it because trade deadline, it kind of
Post
snuck up
deadline.
on us. Kind of snuck up on me.
Yep.
I think it was the Four Nations. I think the Four Nations kind of messed me up. So I was like super hype about that. Then it's like, oh, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks later, it's trade deadline. So what's going on? What's going on with everybody? Benny?
Oh, nothing much. Plattsburgh's about the same. Not much changes up here. But living life, doing well. Taking voice lessons now, which has been fun because I'm planning on auditioning for some theater stuff this summer, and I have a theater
singing?
friend who also is a vocal coach. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, she's in like the theater scene around here, and also is a vocal coach. So and she was like, "Yeah, she had been trying to get me to audition stuff for a long time because she runs the karaoke I go to." But then she was like, "If you think it would make you more confident and you want the help, I can do this for you before you audition for stuff in the summer." So I was like,
Is it
"Yeah,
complimentary?
let's do this."
Complimentary vocal?
No. It's $30 for every hour lesson, but
Not too bad.
I only do them every
Mother
other
of
week.
Lord!
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she only keeps 25 of it. The other 5 goes to like the place that she
Oh, okay.
hosts them.
Gotcha.
Like to use the space. But yeah, it's been
Gotcha.
going fun though, and I'm looking forward to auditioning for some stuff because I haven't done theater in forever, and I got into it way too late, but then loved it when we did Grease. Like I had a really fun time with it, and then
Yep.
college happened, and I didn't have time for anything.
Yeah, that's how it
Yeah.
goes. That's how it goes. And then you become an adult, and then that kind of just gets
Still have time for nothing, but I'm
usually ends
going
up
to
being that.
actively try to make time for it.
All right.
But yeah.
Um,
Bigger question? How was Eric's visit
Oh, it's pretty cool.
down to Florida?
It's pretty
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do we did a lot, but not a lot at the same time. Just how we like it.
That's the way to be sometimes. Sometimes you
Yep.
just want to hang.
Yeah. Dude,
What'd you get up to?
So we did Saturday was the big day. We did a bunch of crap on Saturday. Sunrise over the ocean,
Damn.
but it kind of
Okay.
sucked.
Overrated.
It kind of sucked. No, it's not. It is not overrated. This one sucked though because it was cloudy.
I would say the weather just wasn't right for it. Too much cloud.
It was cloudy, yeah, but it was also cold as balls out there in the morning.
Was.
It's like in the 40s.
Damn.
Dude, it's so
for you.
yeah. Hey, it's cold for here. And then, dude, the sand is freezing. Like you can't have your shoes off because the sand.
I think that would actually
it's
make
cold.
me like sand for once.
It's so cold, dude.
I think I would actually enjoy the beach.
It's a weird sensation because like I'm not bad with the cold at all, but yeah, when you're just chilling watching the sunrise and you're sitting there and it's a little like it's windy and I know it's 40s, but like oh yeah, you feel that. You're like oh
yeah,
geez.
no, for sure.
Especially
coming off the water, I'm sure it was a little chilly.
Yeah. The thing that amazed me though, so that same day, right, big Saturday, we stayed at the beach until about 11ish, I think. And my goodness, by the time you leave, it's your shorts. You can just be wearing a tank top. The sun's beating
Right.
down. It's like 70s. Whoa.
shirts and a tank, yeah, getting your tan
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
It was very fun. And then we did the next thing that Eric was most excited about for the trip. And that was going into Publix.
Dude, I
Get some pub subs.
I needed to see the pub subs.
Yeah. So we did the pub subs. I didn't do the chicken tender one. I didn't feel like it. I felt like a nice deli turkey sub. But Danielle and Eric each got a chicken tender sub. And why don't you share your experience, Rick?
Dude, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. I just want to say the nice lady helping us out asked for like the works, was like, you want it toasted, you want a little salt and pepper, just all this stuff. So thorough. It was
So I take it wasn't a shitty thrown together Subway sub?
nope. Nope. Not at all. It was really good. The thing that amazed me though about it, like it's a sub, but I had to eat that thing like a taco. They used 4 chicken tenders to like
They stack them, dude.
Damn.
I guess I should go through this for people that don't know about pub subs. I didn't realize this. Like when you're in New York City and you go to a deli, right? There's a chopped cheese that you ask for, which is you take ground beef, you chop it up with the cheese on the grill, it gets all like, mixed together. They do that at Publix basically. They just chop the chicken tenders up and then they mix it with your cheese and then they toast it all
Ah,
together. So you have like this nice chopped
I
chicken.
see.
It's real good.
Yeah.
It's real
Let me just
You
throw
get a
this
per-
in there.
You get a perfect bite in every bite, right?
Exactly.
Chicken in every bite, dude. Let me just throw this in there. Danielle and Eric had the same lady helping them, and she was very
Yeah.
nice. The lady that helped me was less so. She did not care. She was like, "What do you want? You can put this on there. Anything else?" I'm like, "Oh God, okay. Just turkey and cheese and lettuce and pickles, please."
You did have a similar order, yeah. It was just like
She was having
You're
a
like,
long day.
sorry
She-
to make you do
she was
your
having a long
job,
day.
right?
She was having.
You
a long
don't put
day.
any
No,
like any kind of like sauce element
mustard.
in
I
your
put
in your
mustard on there.
sandwich? Oh, mustard.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got
Yeah, because
mustard.
you're not a mayo guy.
Mayonnaise is disgusting, and I hold by that. I hold
Ah,
by
it's
it.
good on
It's
it.
gross.
I became a mustard guy this
Oh, mustard's
this
great.
fall. Yeah,
I also like
I
mustard.
tended to
Mustard
never eat
works on
any
a good
sandwiches with
sandwich.
mustard, and then
Really?
I had some ham sandwiches with mustard on them.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Yep. It's the vinegar touch. It's the same thing that makes you like pickles. Although you don't like pickles,
That's right. I don't.
you should give them another try.
you should.
Try.
You should.
Nick, what's going on with you? We got to talk to you. We had a rare Benny-less episode, the last episode. So we did have you, but what's going on last couple of weeks?
Oh Jesus! Last couple of weeks.
Can't
It
even-
was
can't
Liz's
even
birthday,
remember.
so we did a little bit with Aaron and Brian and all them last weekend. This
Beauty.
past weekend was just kind of a normal weekend for us. We did some painting on Saturday. I was naturally losing my mind because the paint wasn't covering worth shit.
What
And
percentage
then
of time on the weekend do you guys spend doing house crap?
well,
Like over or under 50%?
well, it
like
depends
half
on
the
what you
time.
consider house crap.
Like
If you're talking like vacuuming, laundry,
no,
cleaning.
like working on the house.
Oh,
Like
not
project
much.
type things.
I mean, I could spend a lot more time doing things, but I just choose not to.
Yeah.
I don't like
Right.
to do stuff during the week when I get home. So
Yeah,
True
yeah.
that. True that. Nice. Very nice. There's a possibility because Danielle apparently is going up sometime in June. June? She doesn't know. There's a possibility that she goes up for a bachelorette party of some kind. So there's a
interesting.
chance here that I I'll have to look at it, but there may be a chance that I come up for a little couple days or something.
Ooh.
All right. What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh,
Okay, so who wants to go first here? We can break down. We can just go right into it. Break down some trades. Break down some additions because I think everybody's team added, and by everybody I mean everybody at the bottom here.
Yep.
Or on the right side of the screen for the viewer.
Yeah.
Or do we want to just run through team stuff in general first, and that can
Yeah.
include
Yeah,
whatever
sure.
moves, and then after we go through the trades around the league?
Yeah, I don't have any of the trades around the league in my head, so that's gonna have to be someone else.
I'll bring up NHL discussion on Instagram because they kind of rule.
Yeah, they do.
That is
I'll go
like the
first.
easiest way to just like get any big thing. They have something on it. But anyway,
I can jump into it quickly here. So I was kind of surprised to see Ottawa make as many moves at the deadline that they did because going into it, they were on going into the Four Nations tournament, they were they had lost 5 games in a row. They came out of it and lost a couple. They pushed OT against Chicago. So they've got a couple wins recently, but I was like, man, they are kind of shooting themselves in their foot right now because they just gave up completely lost ground on that 3rd spot. So now it's a wild card fight. And
it's back to being a mess
naturally,
again,
the Metro is getting better too. So like the Rangers are right there, and there's a lot of teams that are in the hunt for that spot. So I'm like, this sucks. So I was hopeful that they were going to be making some moves, and then I was like, okay. The first day of moves that happened, I was like, well, they didn't do anything. Okay, what are they going to do? And I saw some stuff like they talked about Norris getting traded. They talked about Docker getting traded. They talked about Forsberg getting traded. But I was like, I don't know. Then none of them really seemed all that like realistic at the point.
Mhm.
So then, what was it? Thursday comes rolling around, and we saw some big moves happening all across the league, right? But the moves Ottawa made were Norris and Docker for Cousins, and I don't remember who out of Buffalo.
Gilbert, I believe, was his last name, and I remember that because it's a funny name.
So
was
essentially,
not
when I
familiar
looked at
with
it,
him.
it's like a straight up like
Gilbert.
a forward defenseman swap out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, I know we had some back and forth about it, whether or not it like who's really going to win that trade in the long run. It's hard to say.
Yeah, we'll need a few years
looks
to know that.
It looks like it could have some chemistry problems now going forward because like
'Cause
Kachuk was such good friends with Norris, but
Mm.
like Cousins' longevity over the course of the last few years is obviously a lot better than Norris has been. He's been out. He's been out just as many games as he's played. I saw the stat. It was like he's played 208 of the last like 400 and some games, and I'm like, yeah, well,
Jeez. Well, that's what it seemed like every time I'm looking. And I had him on my team this year. And
Right.
I'm like, it's like, oh, he's out. Oh, he's out again. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
right. And to your point, Ben, too, they, you know, trading Docker, it was like everybody put praise around him that he was going to be this next young big thing that was coming out of Ottawa. But
Right.
like, they've got some good they've got some good right side depth right now. And it's kind of like the odd man out. And if you can move him and get something in return, then why not?
Yeah.
And then the other big move was a trade with the Sharks. So
Yes.
naturally the
getting
Sharks
Zetterlund.
traded their best two players away during this deadline, right?
Yep.
The Sharks did?
Granlund and Zetterlund.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Granlund went to Dallas before Four Nations. And
Which
then,
we can get to Dallas, but holy shit.
We
and
will,
then
yeah.
Zetterlund
that
got
forward
traded,
core.
kind of a package deal. I don't remember all that went into it, but they got him back in return, which looked good because he's been pretty good for the Sharks this year, and he's like relatively young, so hopefully he fits in well with that team.
Yeah, this year he's got 17 goals and 19 assists in 64 games on the Sharks. So like that's not bad. That's not bad.
All right.
So it's looking up, but you know, it's that point in the season where every win matters, and they lost some traction over the last couple of weeks. So now you really don't have much margin for error at this point because every other team's turning it on too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they got to dig in now. It's crunch time because
and you think that team's built now that they probably can. I mean, Brady's ready to go.
yeah.
So,
I mean, they're there. Listen, they're in the spot, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, they're currently in one. They are
They're
currently
in the
They're
spot.
currently in the top wild card
In
by
the
a point,
spot
but they're in
with-
the top one.
In the spot with what? 1 month to go? Little less?
Yeah, 20 games left for them.
It is your moment, Ottawa. It is your moment.
yeah, and it's nice having Allmark on the back end now, right? Like now you've got an experienced guy going into the stretch that has
nice.
lived this
As
before.
long as he's there.
Hopefully he stays healthy.
As long
That's
as
always
he's
the if
there.
with him, but we'll see.
The Sens have a 3-point gap on the next Atlantic team, so that's nice. Oh geez, I didn't realize the top 3 had created that gap. Dang.
Yeah, there's been some big separation from those top 3 teams.
All right, there it is. There it is.
It really is. Wow, there really are just
a
like
huge gap, dude.
four or 5 really good teams in the East, and then everybody else is just like, who knows? Maybe. Like,
Yeah, because even like the Devils.
Isn't Columbus right there too? And I know the Rangers are
There's
sniffing for a spot right now.
Columbus and Rangers are
Detroit's
tied.
right there.
Detroit,
there's 7 teams within
Canadians.
4 points of each other. There's 7 teams
Yeah,
within 4 points.
even
of each
Montreal's close right now.
Montreal's
too.
right
Yeah.
there, dude. They could
They go on a
freaking make
heat
it.
stretch here.
They could make it right now. Not
Yeah.
likely, but it's like
Not
shit.
likely.
It's right there.
You can get to that when
They get a little hot.
we get there.
You
but-
never know.
Yeah, so that's my roll up on the Sens. I don't really have much more to say.
Let me
other than
ask you, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like? What do you feel?
I mean, I'm kind of just like whatever about Docker because he's been like highly touted for the last couple of years and never really panned out. I'm bummed about Norris because obviously he's a talented young player, but I also know like okay, he's hurt all the time. He can't. I
Yes.
haven't seen him make it through a full season, right? So it's like,
I don't think he has.
can you trade him for Cousins, who is consistently in the lineup? Knock on wood, right? And like he's going to give you more than what somebody who isn't in the lineup's going to give you, right? So,
Sure.
and it's I mean, obviously Ottawa's a more talented team, so you're going to see him probably be better around
Sure.
better players. So,
Would hope
Well,
so.
I mean, we said it in the Instagram chat the other day. If you're a struggling forward on Buffalo and you get traded, you're almost assuredly about to pop the fuck off. Just ignore Casey Middlestat. We don't count that one. But Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart.
You're gonna win a cup, dude.
yep.
So
Ryan
watch out.
O'Reilly.
Yeah, so it's
Ryan
promising,
O'Reilly.
right?
Yep. Look out. Sens Cup window is officially open. 3 years, they will win it. In the next 3 years, I'm telling you. And you know who's gonna win it this year?
Tampa.
Not the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Ooh, okay.
No.
So how did you feel about this trade deadline?
No, I think it was fine. Another two first rounders out the door. Brisebois hates them. He hates them, dude. He cannot
He
get
really does.
cannot get them off the books soon enough. I think it's fine. They improved their depth forwards, which is what I said they needed to do. They probably could have used a defenseman, same as everybody else. But I think they did all right. And we got Yanni Gourde back, and Bjorkstrand. And Bjorkstrand, I think, has another year on his deal. So
there you go.
so that's nice. We got him for a couple more years. I don't know. It's all right. It's not. Yeah, I felt decent when they made that trade because I was like, hey, that's pretty good. They got their depth is pretty good. They're coming alive here. And then the Leafs added Carlo and whoever the hell they did on the forward core, Scott Lawton. And I was like, okay, those are good moves. And then the Florida Panthers did what they did, and I was like, okay. So that's it then, huh? Okay.
Oh, come on now. They're the Lightnings they're 8-2-0 in their last 10. Like
They're
they've been
8-2-0.
on one.
Yes, but they did just get pumped the other day by the Bruins right after the trade deadline. So the depleted Bruins 4-0. Probably an off game.
Sometimes that
Yeah,
happens,
listen, the Lightning are they're playing super well, but I just the Florida Panthers, I don't know. It's hockey, so who knows? But I just don't see
I'm not
anybody
convinced-
stopping them, dude.
I'm not convinced with Florida right now just because Kachuk's out long term, right? How long is he really out for?
He'd be back before the playoffs if the rules were different.
Or so he's gonna be back.
He'll
the
be
first
back
game of
for the
playoffs.
playoffs. He'll be back
Yeah.
for the playoffs. They're gonna have Brad Marchand there. They got Sam Bennett there. Jesus Christ, dude!
It's gonna be just the worst time
It's not
in the
gonna.
world.
It's gonna be.
Could you
it's gonna be
imagine that
pretty awful.
line? Could you imagine all three of them on a line together?
Oof.
They might do it, man.
If you really want to piss the other team off, just throw that line.
Talk about an all-time
other way-
Oh my
line.
God.
The other way you can look at it, you can have 1 through 3, dude. You got one on each line.
Yeah, you got to. That's probably closer
Spread
to
the
what's
wealth.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Have a shithead on each line, but
Yeah. So I don't. The Lightning did all right. Not enough. Probably didn't have enough draft capital to make certain trades work. But who knows? They're a good team. If Vasi figures out what he's doing, if he becomes Vasi of old, they'll have a shot. But that's pretty much it. If not, then they got no shot. They pretty much go as far as Vasilevsky takes them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you feel about Gourde being back? Are you excited about that?
Yeah, it's pretty hype. I love Yanni Gourde having him back. He's a good few years older, so he's not going to be the same player. But yeah, I liked him being back. I'm more excited about Bjorkstrand because he's been very good on a
this year.
poopy
Yeah,
team,
like
and kind of a poopy
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good player. We've always probably all of us know that, but
yeah.
Yeah,
he's definitely kind of stepped it up this year.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yeah.
they got him, and like I think he's gonna end up slotting in on the second line, maybe the third line, but it's pretty good. They did all right. They did all right. All right, the two sellers / one seller and one I don't really know. Not really doing anything.
Yeah, I can actually
Yeah.
probably make this one of the shorter Habs segments I've done in my time.
Go ahead.
I guess the one thing that they didn't sell or buy, but the one thing that probably had the biggest effect on the trade deadline market was them deciding to re-sign Jake Evans, because that had been I mean, they heavily considered trading him, and like that had been a topic leading into it. But to lock him up to 4 years, 2.85 mil a year, with the way the cap is about to go, and with the way he plays as like the perfect third, fourth line center, as well as him and Yoel Armia have combined to be like an amazing penalty killing duo, like one of the best penalty killing duos in the league. So I'm like, 285 a year? Yep. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Keep him around. I was interested to see that nobody else did go, because they had a few UFAs that were kind of talked about as significant targets for a lot of people, with Yoel Armia, David Savard, and
Mhm.
to a lesser extent Christian Dvorak. But they ended up keeping all of them, and after the fact, Kent Hughes said that he had a conversation with Nick Suzuki, and this was translated from French, so this is just sort of an approximation of what he said. But he said to Nick that no, you can't come and tell me don't make any trades, don't mess anything up if you guys aren't going to play. And then he showed me what he had, or something along those lines, because Nick Suzuki popped the fuck off since coming back from Four Nations. So they ended up keeping everybody not even for the most part. They just kept everybody.
Yeah.
And they're letting it ride. As you were saying earlier, they're in the unfortunate spot of like they pretty much got to win most games now. Like you can't really
can't go on a skid or anything.
And it's unfortunate the fact that they're injured to holy hell right now. Like Doc's out for the year. Doc's out for the year. Caden Gooley has been out for a significant time, although he just came back to the ice, so who knows? Maybe they'll get him back. And then Patrick Laine was out last night with flu-like symptoms, and it's just the point that the forward core gets to at that point. It's like they're trying. They didn't even play bad last night when they lost 1-0. It's just like they don't have the guys. Like they just don't really have the guys right now. But I'm interested to see if they can keep pushing through that and maybe keep making this an interesting fight down to the end. And I do think those Ottawa Habs games there's still 2 more of them. Those are going to be some big games for the standings, so we'll see how those go. But anyhow, that's the Habs.
Might be must tune in to those games, I bet.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, who knows? The Habs could go on like a 5-game losing streak and immediately, and then it's like, okay, well, we're pretty much done here.
Yep.
Write them off.
Could very well be. All right, Rick.
Well,
what do you got?
As you guys know, there were 3 Islanders players: JG Pajot, Kyle Palmieri, Brock Nelson. They were trade targets, and only one of them has departed the island, and that's Brock Nelson, the Islander for, I believe, 15 seasons. The Islander who I have a signed puck from, because I got to pick a rookie puck when I went to the Nassau Coliseum when I was a little kid, and I'm like, I'll choose this guy, Brock Nelson. Turned out to be, one of the longest tenured Islanders of all time.
Good choice, yeah.
Yeah. He is 5th all time in scoring on the Islanders, which is really cool. For goals, I should say, for goals,
Oh, okay.
not points necessarily. And yeah, he was like, in this moment right here, don't make fun of me too much, but he was like, one of the Islanders' true goal scorers that I had the pleasure of watching. Even though he wasn't a superstar by any means. But yeah, kind of sad to see him go. However, the Islanders did get some picks and a prospect, as well as Oliver Shillington, who they immediately shipped off to Anaheim for future considerations. So they got a defenseman, and they just shipped him off, which kind of makes sense. They have a lot of defensemen in the AHL or in their system too. I know may have mentioned Isaiah George came up and played a few games for them this year, and he's looked pretty good. So they shipped him off, but the picks and the prospect they got, the prospect was Callum Ritchie, who has played for Team Canada at the World Juniors, and he's put up some pretty good numbers in the AHL, which I actually wanted to bring up very quickly, if you guys don't mind, because I had to do some research into him, because a lot of Colorado fans were talking about how they were sad to have given him up, which I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe this guy's like, kind of a young player that you want in your pipeline, right?
Right.
So let's see. This year for the Oshawa Generals, he has 15 goals, 53 assists, for 68 points in 43 games.
Very nice.
Damn. Well, that's not too bad at all.
So for me as an Islander fan, this trade deadline kind of signified, okay, the Islanders have the most stubborn GM in the universe, and they were trying to extend Brock Nelson to a point during this time. It didn't end up happening, so rightfully so, they flipped him for picks because the price is high, right? And the same thing is going to be happening with Kyle Palmieri, as far as I know right now. So they're trying to possibly extend Kyle Palmieri, which I don't know why the hell you would do that. but what I'm
They like their old guys.
Yeah, they do.
What I'm hoping is,
I mean, they got the head old guy in charge.
They get exactly. What I'm hoping is with the Palmieri situation, teams will also be willing to give away some sort of high pick, right, for Palmieri, if they could just kind of finagle that, because you want like that type of gritty, kind of veteran style player. I mean, the trade deadline has passed, so you don't get the.
Is he a UFA right now? Is he a UFA this summer?
No, I think he has. I think he has term left.
He's trying to extend him ahead of time. What are you?
I think. Let me. That's a question, Benny. Let me double check that. You
can't extend this early.
No, you can't. Because never mind.
You can't extend
it has
this
to be
early
until January, so he must be a UFA. Yeah, so I guess he's just hoping he'll sign it eventually, or he might just walk. But
let me tell you what's going on here.
Walking might be honestly better for the Islanders at that point, depending on the contract he's looking to locking him into.
Dude, what would piss me off beyond anything is that if the GM got his way, it's the same team every goddamn year.
Every goddamn year.
Yeah. Every year. What are we doing? He is a UFA after this year. So if they trade him, no one's going to pay anything because they're not going to be able to use him.
Yeah, what's the vibe with... What's the vibe in the fan base down there, Eric, on like how do you view the ownership and their thoughts on Lou, and do you think there's ever a chance of this changing? Is he gonna leave at any point? Like what's going on?
I think this summer, to be honest, with how this season has played out, I think this summer is the time where change happens. This is like the testing grounds for team ownership. So the Islanders' old owners, when they were at the Coliseum, right? Like there were always rumors they like didn't really give a shit about hockey. They just cared about building up like casinos and hotels by Nassau Coliseum, right?
Right.
Then they got new ownership. They bring in Lou, they bring in Barry, and those at the time, I mean, still, those are hockey names, right? Like those are hockey guys, right? So we want to change the culture, be relevant.
And
Let's get
admittedly,
hockey guys.
they did it for a sec. It worked.
They did.
Like
So-
it very nearly worked. Like they
So
did
if-
well.
Yeah. So if the owners are still invested, they will realize, hey, this old guy who's supposed to be getting us hockey guys, who's given us the same product on the ice for the past fucking what feels like a bajillion years, he needs to go. We're gonna change it up again because this is getting stale. This is getting flat. So for me, it's the summer where ownership has the chance to do that. And I'm very curious to see what they will do because the other half of this is Lou is like, oh, it's Lou Lamoriello. He's the old hockey guy, right? And I just don't want to see a team hold on to, oh, but look at all the good stuff that Lou did. Don't get me wrong, there's some
Right.
stuff that Lou did, but it's pretty obvious you need to pick a direction now because you don't like what's the direction? You only got rid of
I mean-
Nelson and not Pajot and Palmer. Like even the way the trade deadline was handled, it's like, what are we doing? Are we all in or are we not? The Islanders in every aspect of their game choose to be mid. We are mid involved in the trade deadline. We're gonna give away Brock Nelson, but not these other people. We're mid in the standings. We're almost there, and then we're just gonna fall off a cliff at the end of the season. Like, it's just so frustrating. It's very frustrating as a fan. However, I do want to end this because I've been going on for a bit. I want to end this segment by saying I'm excited with the Calum Ritchie thing because the Islanders just got, I don't know if you remember Cole Iserman in the draft last year.
Mhm.
So they have a guy who wants to score goals and has been proven to score goals, obviously not at the NHL level, but if they, they have a chance, they have someone with the skill and talent to turn them into that. And now they have another young player who's been really good, who once again is like in that he's played for Team Canada, right? For it's World Juniors, but like players who are relevant and in that mix of, okay, yeah, I know these prospect names, right? Because like we don't know every prospect name, but okay, these are some players, these are some guys. And to me, inevitably, right, a rebuild is on its way soon, guys. Like we don't have to beat around the bush. It's gonna be clawing and screaming into a rebuild, just which is very painful. It's not like, oh, we made a run in the playoffs, let's blow it up. It's not working.
Oh, this is one of those frustrating things where you could have seen this coming and like sped this process up like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Start getting out some of the guys that are very clearly not going to be part of the future. And then that would still leave you with some significant good years of Bo Horvat, a lot of good years of Barzal. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, again, you can't take anything away from all of Lou's accomplishments. He's he has known what he's needed to do at certain points in time. But, like, that's also just part of the nature of management and coaches and pro sports is, like, eventually, sometimes it's just too much of one thing going on for too long in an organization, and he keeps bashing his head against the wall with this one team and plan the entire time, only for them to just either not make the playoffs or make it and promptly get beat. It's
Lou needs to get an award for like most losses to the Carolina Hurricanes in the playoffs consecutively. Every
got that
fucking
on
year.
lock.
Every
He's got
fucking
that
year.
on lock, man.
Hey guys, who do we
So
play
that-
for? Hurricanes? Oh well, this is going to be the worst style of playoff hockey, and we're going to lose every game 2-1. This is awesome. I can't wait.
That was an unfortunate situation there. Yep. All right. Yeah.
That's that.
So that's that. That's what's going on. Few Canadians basically stood still, didn't do a whole lot of anything. Islanders.
Yeah, you're
slight
welcome
sell.
to whatever teams were actually selling centers for making the prices even higher because Jake wasn't there.
Oh man, dude, yeah, the prices were so high. Like
They
it
really
was
were.
like it was a seller's market somehow, and like there wasn't even
Yeah.
anybody really super good available. It's very odd.
Yeah.
People are like desperate to add something to a team for a run, but
Oh,
yeah, that's how it goes.
I also wanted to say real quick too, Brock Nelson, his new line that he's on with Colorado, he's the center between Jonathan Drouin and Val Nichushkin. So that's his new,
Oh.
pretty good line.
Jay Drew.
I know they won last night. They beat Toronto
7-4.
7-4. What did how did Nelson factor into that? Let me look.
He got a
real quick.
primary assist last night.
He only got
Hey,
one
you wanna know who
primary
else got a
assist in a
primary
game. They had
assist last
7
night?
goals.
Dylan
What?
Cousins.
Oh,
Dylan
yeah, I
Cousins
saw
also.
that.
Did he
Yeah.
score?
No, he got an assist though.
All right, there we go. There we
Dude,
go.
one primary assist. Yeah, I would take that if he's on the second line.
He's
and
not
and
exactly
brand new,
top
just got
line.
there.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fine. I mean, yeah, they won.
That's not
7-4.
enough for Benny.
Dude, an Islander getting a primary assist is crazy. I'm like, it must be a great night. An Islander getting a primary
Fair
assist.
enough.
Holy shit.
Bjorkstrand scored in his first game. So
Ooh, nice.
my ad is winning. The Lightning's ad is winning. All right. Does anyone have to use the bathroom, or are we good to keep trucking?
Could we take a break?
And Benny does it. Benny's the one. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna take a quick little break, and we will be back in just a second.
Is that an Alec?
Hashimasik.
Oh, I just
back
saw
in.
that jersey you sent.
Big cock Brock. Eric
Yeah.
sent us a picture in the Instagram group
Dude.
chat. Big cock Brock.
Dude, that is the Islanders fan base. That's Brock. No, not Brock. So
Hell
no
yeah.
more cock Brock. Kind of sad.
No more big cock, bro.
All right, Benny.
Truly.
Run us through some trades here. Let's go. Let's start.
All
I don't even know how you can do that. Give us through some trades.
All right, so I'm gonna just because it came to me as I was looking at the stats from last night's Colorado game to see Brock Nelson. Colorado, they did so much aside from just Brock Nelson.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the exacts of it. So we got Brock Nelson going there from the Isles. I think this was like a week ago, so it's kind of not really, but like still around the same time. They bring in Ryan Lindgren and Jimmy Vesey from the Rangers.
Yep.
Which Ryan Lindgren's probably the big part of that, and hopefully he can kind of get back to where he was
Well,
in years
and
past.
VC's
but-
always said in New York that he was like an odd man out. They never
Yep.
really
Yeah.
had a spot for him, so hopefully he's make some use there.
So that part is interesting. I know they also got Charlie Coyle from Boston, who he had been doing all right in the years of Boston, but I also think they were asking too much out of him in Boston. And I think he's probably going to end up as like a third line center, and I think that's going to be really good for him again. Like I think that's going to suit him a lot more with Colorado. Then we obviously have the Brock Nelson and Eric. Who's William Dufour?
So Willem Dufour was a prospect for the Isles who's supposed to be like lethal shot, big goal scoring guy, but he
Sure.
kind of fell off.
All right, interesting.
But
Willie.
Oh
Willie
yeah, and I
D.
forgot they brought back the Avalanche also brought back Eric Johnson. Got him from
They did.
from Philadelphia, so long time
Oh,
defenseman for them. He comes back, and I think it sounds like they're planning on using him as like an extra at the start, but who knows, maybe where he gets in. A lot worse depth options you could have than Eric Johnson. So that
Yeah.
on it also it's just a nice thing for their like franchise. It's nice to have a guy like that back where he had been with them for so long. So I really like what they did. They're a team who has like drastically reshaped what their roster is over the course of this season. First out of necessity when their goalies couldn't stop a goddamn beach ball.
oh yeah.
So they had to do that first and got their goalies sorted, but now they've really sort of done it with their forward core too. And I think it's put them in a really good spot, like going forward. Like I like the way they look.
They definitely look. They're definitely better. They are definitely got better. So that's nice. That's nice for them.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Colorado, or do you want me to run through some more? Everybody?
I don't know. Where are they at in the standings right now? I have them open. I have them
believe-
open. I can look. I
there
like
you
to
go.
ask the question. Third in the Central. All right, third in the
Right.
Central. 2 points ahead of Minnesota. So they're not even guaranteed. Oh no, they're guaranteed because Calgary's way behind.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, they're pretty safe.
Now it's kind of just jockeying for position. Does Minnesota, who I don't think they did a whole lot.
Who did they? They got somebody.
They
Let
should
me
have been
look.
swinging big because Kaprizov's on the IR. I don't know when he's
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were trying, but everybody was swinging big.
That's true.
Like that's
very
the
true.
thing. Everybody was pretty active.
I wonder if they were
so,
trying for Rantanen. That would have been fun.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
mean, they got Justin Brazeau from Boston, who he's kind of like a lower end guy. That's not really that
Not really that
exciting. Yeah, it looks like that's really the only thing.
All right.
So they were pretty quiet. They didn't do much. So that's interesting. Yeah, I hope for their sake that Kaprizov does come back soon because, I mean, he's such a massive part of that squad. So I wouldn't be too hopeful with their chances going into
They
a
kind of
playoff
need
series
him to
if he's
come
not
back. Yeah, they need him to come back. Otherwise, it might just be a disaster in the first round. An absolute
I mean,
disaster.
they're set to be playing one of Winnipeg or Vegas, and
Oh,
Vegas, a team that didn't really make any moves this trade deadline. which is kinda
Surprisingly
surprising.
quiet. Yes.
Yeah.
They
Well, yeah, I
brought
mean,
back their
they-
boy Smith, Riley Smith. That's fun.
Yes, they did. They brought back one of the
a lot of
original
returning
misfits.
players. this year.
There
A lot of
were
players
actually
returning.
there were, weirdly enough.
That is.
We can talk
But-
about Boston for a second. So obviously Boston
Oh,
decided
yeah,
to
Boston
accelerate
just
the rebuild big
pulled the
time.
plug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they decided they were done. Got rid
Marchand
of.
goes to Florida. Coyle goes to the Avalanche, like you said.
Yep.
What was
And
the other
then,
one? There was another one.
Wasn't there a defenseman?
Carlo
Oh,
went to the
yes.
Leafs.
Brandon Carlo went up to
Yeah.
the Leafs. Yep. I feel like
All
there was a
good
couple
players.
other players.
Pasternak, how are you feeling? Like, what the fuck happened?
I know Pasternak.
He-
All of a sudden,
he is
he's the
that-
only one there.
He's
Guys.
that gif of Will Smith in the house when it's empty at the end of that episode of Fresh Prince, and he's just like looking around.
Guys,
Yep.
I have a question. Because I didn't really understand this. Why the Bruins trade Brad Marchand to a rival basically at this point, and they got a second rounder for him?
The return made no sense to
Like
me.
what? Like
Apparently,
He hasn't had a great
were-
season though.
still, you
But,
get
like-
more
But
than
I-
a second round for Brad Marchand going into
You
the
have to,
playoffs.
too.
You
I
get
know.
like
For God's sake, it was basically first round pick for each of Gourde and Bjorkstrand.
yeah, like that. It's odd. I know he had
Did he have protection, so he had to go?
some kind of trade protection, and he was
Yeah.
like, "I'll go to Florida," kind of thing.
okay,
And also part of it was I'm fairly certain Boston and him were trying to maybe do a contract, but then it never went anywhere. So he's like, "All right, well, I'll just go somewhere then, and then we'll figure it out from there." And there's worse places to go than Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's gonna be weird though. Like I haven't even seen. Or also, I think it does become a first round pick if he plays enough games.
Oh,
I think it's
There's
conditional.
there's some condition on it where if he does something that it could become a first rounder. So who knows? Maybe he gets a little better.
Mm.
So this is the first year in a long time that we don't have to worry about making the playoffs because they don't have any players to help them make the
Oh.
playoffs anymore.
Dude, who the
No.
hell knows, man? They're right there.
I don't know if
They
you guys.
are not far out, and it would be very funny. It would be very Boston for them to
Yeah.
like obliterate their team and then somehow
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
no, we're here, wild card baby.
What
let's
if they
go.
what
like,
if they sneak in and it's Boston, Florida in the first round?
Yeah.
ooh, that would be interesting.
And then Pasternak
mean,
just
I
craps
think-
on him.
I think the Bruins would get fucking
yeah.
trucked, but
They would. They would.
They were talking about on SDPN how funny it is. They were all finally so excited that the Leafs wouldn't have to play against the Bruins in the playoffs if the Bruins miss. And then Brad Marchand goes to Florida, and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding? We can't avoid the Bruins in the playoffs." Like,
There will always be a Bruin.
yeah, there'll always be a
Yeah.
Bruin. So funny. So funny.
GD.
So I think the only other team that's worth talking about, because obviously it was the biggest move at the trade deadline, was what Dallas did.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
so like I think I mentioned it, but like I mentioned earlier, so they got Granlund from the Sharks before the Four Nations, which looked like a good move because he was kind of popping off this year for being an older player. He's looked pretty
Yeah.
good. So then I was like, okay, what's Dallas going to do here? And then there was some like chatter about they said they were going after somebody else too. I can't remember who it was, but there was some chatter around Dallas making a big move. And then like I see, oh, now they're in talks with Rantanen. And they're like, he's only moving if they're ready to go. And the next morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, they had talks stalled. And then like 2 hours later,
a
traded.
long time to develop. Yeah, it was very slow going. I was following along with that as it went, and I like went to bed the night before expecting it, like you said, to happen, and then it got there. But
so basically they trade
sucks for
Logan
Carolina.
Stankoven and a pick, right? Or a couple picks.
It was Logan Stankoven. I have it right here. 2 first rounders, one
There
in
we go.
2026, one in 2026, one in 2028, and then 2 third rounders, one in 2026, one in 2027. So a shitload of picks. But Logan Stankoven is not Mikko Rantanen.
Right, I was gonna say a shitload of
No.
picks for an all-star player that is gonna be there for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
Like Stankoven's barely been in the lineup. I know he's been in with the Texas Stars, but he hasn't been like really in the Dallas lineup that much because they have a lot of D depth. right? Like because
Forward
Thomas or what's his name? Is it Thomas Hurley? Is that his first name?
Harley.
Well,
Thomas
Stankoven's a
Harley?
forward.
I
Stankoven
thought he
is
was
a
a
forward.
oh, I
Yeah.
thought he was a defenseman.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they have forward depth
Well,
too.
okay,
But at the
then
same
look around
time,
their
they
forward
also
depth. Their
have
forward
a
depth is
shit.
fucking
Yeah,
all over the
they
place.
also have a shitload of forward depth. So yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah, it's
Good
you know what would be
move.
interesting is to put those two like to get Carolina's in and out total. Like
it's not good.
it's
I've seen
really
it.
poor.
I saw it somewhere on but yeah, where it's like out Natchez Stanko or Natchez Rantanen, like a bunch of picks, and Jack
Yeah.
Drury, and then in Logan Stankoven and some picks.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not
That's it.
ideal. Which we can get to the Dallas side of this in a second, but quickly on the Carolina side, yes, it would suck to lose him for nothing, but are you guys not like trying to win now and you need scoring? And this was kind of always a risk when you get a guy without a contract in a trade. There's always a risk of him maybe
know,
walking.
dude.
Why don't you just keep the guy? Like,
I think
use
they
him-
saw how he played. And he was
well,
like, they were
is he
like,
gonna
oh
be
man,
like
this
that
guy.
forever? Like, I mean, like if he gets through the trade deadline, and I mean, I guess we've been saying that all year about Elias Pettersson, but it's just one of those things where I wonder, like, if you had just gotten through the trade deadline, he realizes, okay, I guess I'm here. Like, he's a really good hockey player,
Yeah.
and you'd think you could. I don't know. It just is not a great situation all around for the Hurricanes, but for the Stars, holy shit, that the inevitable Dallas Colorado series that happens sometime in these playoffs. Oh boy, that's gonna be a series.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, and Dallas has looked really good a lot of this season. And I know like Robertson was slow to get out of the gate, and they re-signed Wyatt Johnson too over this period. So that was obviously a big win for them as well. So like and for all I remember, Ben's been looking a lot better too. It sucks that Sagan's out because obviously, like, I know he's not the player he used to be, but he's still good, right? So if like I don't know if he's even planning on coming back this year, but like they definitely have a shot.
Yeah.
They're second in the conference. They're second in the West. They're right there. They are right there. We could see that Dallas Colorado in round 1. That's what it's shaping up like right now.
Do you guys remember
Boy.
last year? You guys remember last year? Everyone was saying Vegas Dallas was the Stanley Cup matchup in round 1, like a Stanley Cup or a conference final matchup in
I
round 1.
think this is our version of that.
This is our
year,
version
yeah.
of it this year. Yeah, both teams are good, friggin' good.
Yeah, that is for sure. Those two teams, yeah.
So, do you guys think that there was any teams that should have made moves or any? I know there was a couple other, like Vancouver was possibly talking about trading Besser out too, but then decided to hold on to him.
Yeah,
And I know like there always has been the rumor around getting Pettersson out of town too. Whether or not that was really real or not, who knows? But like, do you think there was any teams that missed out on something or should have bought or should not have bought, or you know what I mean? You know the question I'm asking.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say because like the Washington Capitals didn't do very much. But
That
they've
was the
been
team I was thinking of.
they've been so good. That's almost like, do
Yeah.
you want to throw in
Mess it up.
something
Yeah.
new and maybe it gets frigged up and the chemi's gone or something like that? Do you want to mess with what you have going on? And I
Yeah.
think ultimately they were like, no, we like the group.
I actually really liked. Yeah, I liked how they handled that. They added Anthony Beauvillier for a second round pick,
Yep.
which is just some forward depth. Which it's playoffs. Everybody gets hurt. You need guys, and he's not a bad guy to have as like a bottom lines guy, as third, fourth line guy. Throw him in there. I like where they're at. I mean, it's hard to say you don't like where they're at. They've been fucking killing it all year. Like,
Oh yeah.
they've been good.
I'm gonna say a team for me that I thought would do more is the Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Mhm.
See that.
They did get a defenseman, right?
they got Jake Wallman, I believe, which was good.
Yes.
All I
Yes,
know
they
about
did.
that guy is he did the gritty after he
Yeah.
scored
Yes.
once. It's literally all I know about that guy.
I know he's been having a pretty good year with San Jose this year. Let me bring it up.
Jakey
Um,
Wallman.
I just want to say this, guys, for the Oilers. So they did a decent amount. They got Trent Frederick from the Bruins. It's a pain in the ass guy in the playoffs, right? They could have Evander Kane coming back, right? That's another thing that's kind of in the mix. So they didn't really have to do too much. But my goodness, guys, do you guys think the Oilers have to do something with their goaltending? Or am I crazy?
Yeah,
I,
I mean, that's been the thing for years.
Stewart's
Who's
and
available though?
that's the thing. Not many people available, but like
Like
Well,
Ottawa
Spencer
said
Knight
that they
was
were.
apparently.
Ottawa
so.
was saying that their
Well, I guess
backup
you don't
is
have a Seth
available,
Jones to give for
but
him, but
like Forsberg's not any better than Skinner.
So Vanacek got traded to the Panthers, and he got a shutout in his first game.
yeah, but like
Well,
there
Spencer
was
Knight
no
got
reason to
traded away from
suspect
the
that.
Panthers and looked great his
I
first
love
night too.
No, but that's
Goalies
not.
are voodoo. Who knows? Like,
No. My point is though, like teams like understand they have to move some things around, and if Stuart Skinner gets hurt in the playoffs, Calvin Pickard's the guy that's going to take you to the promised land. All right.
Well, isn't that what happened
Hell
last year?
yeah.
he
No,
had his moments last year, but
I thought it was Stu
yeah,
Skinner that was good.
most of it. But
It was
Pickard definitely got into some games and won a couple, but then ended up,
No.
it was back
Alright.
and forth. But to get back to Jake Wallman, he actually was even more impressive than I thought. He had 6 goals and 27 assists as a defenseman for 33 points in 51 games on this year's San Jose Sharks.
Pretty
That's very
good.
good.
Most impressively of all, that man is a +2
That's
on this year's San Jose Sharks,
Well done.
which sounds like it should be impossible.
Well done.
I take back everything I said. Goaltending doesn't matter when you have Jake Wallman on the ice. Plus player. Never mind.
Well done.
I don't know what the player that I should just get straight to the point. John Gibson is the player that I've been hearing so much about.
Yeah, who's actually been having a pretty good
Who's
year
been having
from what I know, right?
with Anaheim.
A bad Ducks team. Yeah, but
And-
doesn't he have a? He's. I feel like
got
he's
a
been in discussion
big-ass
about getting
contract.
traded too. He's got a big contract, and he's probably got no trade clauses in there too.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he wants to leave. Like he's all but made that clear. Like he's
Okay.
ready to dip. I don't think if he has a no trade, I don't think that would be an issue. But
Yeah.
I said he was having a good season. He has 9 wins out of 26 games.
Holy.
But he has a
Bad
9-10
team.
and he has a 9-10 in those games. So like, the team's just ass.
I was gonna
Uh,
say.
That's
So,
bad, yep.
who's the other guy in Anaheim? Dostal, right?
Dostal has been the main guy there this year.
But like same thing, right? He probably does not have as many wins. He's probably.
I think he has a good record actually.
Or
I
no,
think he's the
good
only
record.
reason
Oh.
there.
Let's see it. Actually,
He's at,
Weren't they just not that far out of a fucking spot for a second there?
yeah,
for a sec.
he has 18 wins in 39 games this year.
Wow. Pretty good.
Just I think still below 500, but like that's great on the
Great.
fucking.
Are any of you
Ducks
guys
this year,
surprised
but
that Pittsburgh didn't do anything?
No.
they did do things.
They
Well,
did. They did like a swap.
They
several
didn't do
things.
anything worthwhile, right? Like, I remember going into the Four Nations, like Crosby was unhappy with the team, and Dubas was like, "We're gonna trade. We could trade anybody. It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And they didn't really do
They
anything with the
traded.
problems.
What did they
that have.
trade? Beauvillier
So-
out.
We got Vinny Desharnais, who they had just gotten from Vancouver. Sent him out for a 5th rounder. They got Luke Shen and Tommy Novak from the Predators in return for Michael Bunting and a 4th round pick. And then promptly followed that up by sending Shen out to, where is it? He sent Shen to the Jets for a 2026 second and a 2027 4th. They're just stockpiling. Yeah. Oh, and they sent
Just grabbing picks.
they sent Cody Glass and not Jonathan Drouin, but Jonathan Gruden to New Jersey for a 3rd rounder, Chase Stillman and Max Graham. So they're just they're just getting picks and guys. I think they're
Getting picks and
not
guys,
going.
but a super old roster with a bunch of anchor contracts that they can't move.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think they're doing as best as they can to restock the cupboards in an effort to then pivot out of this.
They know
I think
what's
they are
happening.
kind of
They know
they
it's
kind of realize where things are going. Like, as much as Crosby wants to keep saying, "No, we can do this," and I want to stay here, I'm like, okay, bud, congrats, staying on the sinking ship, I guess.
He's
Yeah.
the captain going down with his ship.
Yes, he
Dude,
is.
look,
That he
hockey.
is.
Going down on the pirate ship with his boy Eric.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
that trade, they just so didn't need to do that. Like, I know it was looking
yeah.
good after his mega points year, but like, they really didn't need to do that. Like, anyway,
It was not a good plan. And yeah, that's about all you can say. But yeah,
I mean, I
I'll
think
be
part of
interested
it is
to
still
see.
fucked up by the ownership being like, we got to make Crosby's years work.
Yeah, I understand
and then
that.
Dubas is
as
like,
well.
I can't really, because we're fucked.
Here's the thing.
Like,
it's not gonna work.
Here's the thing. The management group before me left me in one of the most worst contract situations ever, and then he played no small part in then continuing to fuck it up by bringing in Carlson and then signing those deals for Ryan Graves and what's
Jari.
the goalie?
Jari. That was awful, dude. That was a terrible contract.
Yeah. So I don't know. That'll be
Here's my
interesting to watch
question.
this summer, though.
I
don't know what's going forward.
Here's my question: what is the likelihood that Crosby just says, you know what, just get me somewhere where I have a chance to win? Is he that loyal where he's like, I'm sticking with this team. I'm only gonna wear a Penguin sweater for my whole career, or does he say, you know what, I want to win again. Let's see if we can
send
win
me
again.
up to Canada where I'm from. Let me ride it out with Montreal Canadiens.
Ooh.
He did say very early in his career,
Like
and
that.
obviously he's well known as a kid, he was a Habs fan. But early in his career, he made jokes about oh yeah, one day I'll eventually sign with them once I've got my cups or everything, and I can move on. And then, but who knows? I don't think that'll actually happen. The one thing I actually really could see happening is, because I'm fairly certain, I just wanted to look it up. His contract expires at the end of next year, right?
I believe he's got 2 more.
2 more years. Okay.
Let me look.
Wait, no. Wait, what?
Huh?
Yeah, I got Puckpedia up right now.
Who's gonna win? Oh shit, you won.
He
Unless I
has
keep
2
talking.
more years.
Yeah, it's 2 more.
Yeah, he has 25, 26, and 26, 27. I think when you get to maybe next year's trade deadline, or especially the trade deadline after that, and that's after he's gone and played and maybe won a medal at the Olympics, and he's felt that again.
He's felt
and if they just if Pittsburgh's where they are right now next year again, which I'm assuming they will be, I don't know. I mean, I'm not inside Sidney Crosby's head, and every time anybody talks about the potential of him leaving, every single fucking Pittsburgh fan on the internet just is like, no, he says he wants to stay here forever. He's the best, and he'll always stay here, and will jump down your throat, which I can understand to a degree. I would also be defensive of my team's captain if it's Sidney Crosby. I don't know. I would think he would want to be like, hey, how hard would it be to send me to my buddy Nate, and we can mix some things up in Colorado, or I don't know.
It's an interesting situation, but yeah, it's weird because you can see it both ways. Because he's obviously a competitive guy, so you can see this guy. Does he really want to essentially play meaningless hockey for the next 2 years?
For the rest of his career, yeah.
And then just hang him up, and be able to say, yeah, I was a Pittsburgh Penguin for my entire career, or does he want another shot at the can?
3 cups, 2 gold medals already.
Well, that's what I'm
maybe
saying.
one.
That's what I'm saying. He's done it all. He's done it all. So he absolutely.
And he's got a Four Nations Cup underneath his belt.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, but I don't. I feel like I feel like while they all like loved it in the moment and like they got up for it, I don't think any of them are gonna care about that one down the
Probably
road.
not. Probably not. But yeah, you can see it both ways. You can see it. You can absolutely see it both ways because he's already won so much, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I got all my stuff, dude. Got all these trophies on my trophy shelf. Just gonna ride it out in pit. Be a pit legend. Pit for life." I would not. I'd be like, please let me go somewhere else. I would like to attempt to do something.
Because he's still got it. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
he's
like
still a
he's
very good player.
washed. Like he's fucking rips it. Like he's good. So I don't know.
Very good
It'd be
player.
cool to see him. I would like to see him play on a competitive team again before he hangs him up. That would be cool. I think. But who knows? We'll see. Pittsburgh's definitely going to be a team to watch this summer for sure.
Yeah. It'll be so. What do they probably just move some of their other guys out if they can for more picks? Like some of their guys, maybe 1 or 2 years left.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like Ryan Graves, nobody's
I don't
touching
know.
that. Nobody's touching
That's the
Jari.
thing.
Is anyone gonna
There's
grab
so much-
Carlson?
there's so-
Dude,
man,
dude, Carlson up
do you
to back
wanna
to Senators.
retain?
Back to the Senators. Retain on Carlson. Booyah. Make him like a
Yeah, but
$4
then-
million guy.
You got the same problem with Malkin too. Like Malkin's got a pretty big.
Yeah, what is he like 5 something? 5
What's
million
the
something?
other? I can't remember his name. Their other defenseman there.
Letang?
Letang.
Chrissy
Nobody's
Letang?
touching Letang either because Letang gets hurt so friggin'
Yeah, he
often.
does.
Ron Hextall
He does.
on his way out really did just.
It was a Ronnie Hextall jam job on that one. He just jammed Dubas up so hard on his way out.
Yeah. And again, Dubas has not done a ton to help himself.
No, he's
since,
been jamming himself.
yeah.
He's like,
But
he's doing it to himself
yeah.
now.
Damn.
Come on, dude. All right, let's do a quick fantasy recap, and then we'll call it a day, gentlemen. All right. This is the last week, boys. This week
I thought there was
upcoming
one more.
is the final one.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
after
This
today, yeah.
the week that's about to happen is the final week in the regular season. Let me break it down for you guys right now. So right now, clinched right now are the top 3. That is Tony, that's my dad, and that is Benny. Benny clinching his spot. Not clinched are
But
everyone else.
clenched.
Yes, not clinched but clenched is everybody else except for the bottom 2, basically.
Yeah.
I'm in 4th, 11-8. Danielle's right behind me, along with Nick, tied at 10-9. And then Eric and my mom at 9-10. But my mom is about to beat me, and will be
Eric
10
is
and
about
10.
to beat me.
Holy! Wait, hold on. Wait, where's Danielle?
Yeah.
Oh,
am I-
Danielle's gonna win. So Danielle's gonna get up to 11-8 with me, or 11-9 with me.
Okay.
So it is gonna be 3 teams at 10-10. No, yeah, 3 teams at 10-10, looking for
Yeah.
that last spot.
Oh
Wow.
my.
This
Woo-hoo!
week is gonna be
Who
huge.
do I have
Holy.
this week?
This is crazy.
You will be playing. Hold on, let me hit this
I
button.
just took down Tony
Your
last
mom,
week and
Mike.
fucking lost to Eric this week. No offense, Eric.
Yeah, you're playing my mom. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
literally will
That'll be for the playoff
that'll
spot.
be
Oh
for
my
the
God.
playoff spot, I think. Although Rick could sneak in, but he's got my
Eh,
dad, and
probably.
my dad's kind of been crushing.
So
Well,
what you're
that
saying is I
projected
should
score
pay
is not
attention to
great.
my team this week. I haven't paid attention to him in the last.
I would throw in
15.
I would throw in a couple minutes of having a look.
Yeah.
I don't,
And
I
then
don't think I need to
I-
have Dmitry Orlov anymore, considering he's out.
Yeah, I'd drop that guy. Anybody,
Yeah, I
any
gotta
injuries,
start
just
doing my
get rid of
final-
them. You got to get rid of
yeah,
them.
I got it.
And
Start
if you
doing my
have
final,
moves,
like switches.
if you have moves right now, I would do it right now, because then
That's
you'll have
true,
2
actually, I
more
could do
moves
that
for
tonight.
next week.
I
Yeah.
can't drop him tonight because they fucking played today.
They've already played. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we're dropping guys, right, like, and they're injured, let's say they're like big names, right? Doesn't matter for
Oh
next.
shit! I didn't set my lineups
still
today.
doing-
Fuck.
Still doing picks, right? Like we're still doing protected picks or whatever we did.
Yeah,
Like the,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you drop
If you drop a guy.
if you
then
drop
they're
them,
gone.
then they're not, you won't be able to keep them.
Yeah. But I'm saying for like the draft or whatever, or
It's
no?
whoever's. It's
You
anybody
have to
that's on
have
your
them
final
actively on
roster.
It's
your
got to be on
roster.
your
Okay.
roster at the end of the year.
Okay.
So if you drop your guy that you want to keep, you'll no longer be
Yeah.
able to keep him.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah. So that's how it's shaping up. An absolute dogfight, just like the Eastern wild card here. What a situation.
Yeah, we got our own wild card situation.
And
going
Benny
here, my
himself is playing for a possible
goodness. Bye.
possible
this is the top
bye.
two that are a bye, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Top two get a bye.
I think
so
I need.
you would
Is
need
your
to have
dad
a
winning
week.
this week?
You would need to have a week. Oh. Hold on. Yes.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
both
so
going to be
I would-
tied. Oh, and he had almost
I would
500
need-
points. I think you might be out.
Yeah. Well, I
'Cause
would need
he's-
this next week. I would need your dad to lose
Yeah.
and me to win. That would have to be the case, but
Yep.
we'll see.
And
So Eric,
yeah.
get your shit together.
Come on,
please.
Eric.
I'll try. I've been.
I
Up
mean,
and
yeah,
down.
you need the win anyway. You really need the win anyway. So yeah, get
Yep,
after
it's
it.
a real situation. And I think so if I'm 11-8 or I'm 11-9, I believe I will be locked in. After this
Okay.
week, I believe I will be locked in. I believe Danielle will be locked in. And no, I don't think we will actually. Cuz there technically could be multiple people at 11-9 or 11-10. And it could end up being down to points. So I don't think there will be any more. I don't think anybody's going to clinch this week. What a situation we have brewing here in the fantasy leaguers.
It's been a very competitive
This is
year.
the first year in a long time that I haven't been at the top going into the playoffs.
Yeah. Were you at the very tippy top last year, or
I've
you
been
might have been
first and
second?
second over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently going.
I mean,
into
hey,
it.
shouts out.
Remember one year I was like 10-0.
That was last year.
Was it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hated it.
It was pretty dumb.
Yeah, because this is what happened. You went 4-0. You and I each went 4-0 to start the season, and then we played each other, and you beat me. And then I proceeded, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but I then lost the next three after that. So I went 4-0 and then 0-4 for the next one.
Yeah.
And ended up 4-4. I was like, what is happening right now?
That's what happened to me this year. I swear I had a losing streak right in the center of it. That
Yeah,
I lost.
dude.
Yeah,
like,
you did. You
6
started
weeks in a row.
strong and then just
Same.
kept dropping.
Well, hey, shouts out to Tony, because that dude won and is now still at the top. I don't know how he's done it, but there he goes. With Connor
Yep.
McDavid not even doing anything. Like barely
Yeah.
doing anything. I don't get it.
He has more
Absolutely
time than us.
crushing it. Hey, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's the case. By the way, last night, didn't check my lineup. For some reason it didn't set, even though I definitely hit the stupid ass button. Left a nice Steven Stamkos hat trick on my bench.
No.
Oh, shit.
27 points. He actually did
Ah.
something, and he was on my bench.
I did
That
that
is
earlier in the week too. I've had Marchenko. Is that his name?
Oh yeah, Kirill.
Kirill.
He's been on my IR because he got hurt like a few weeks ago. I forgot to take him off, and he's been just he hasn't. I wouldn't say popping off is kind of an overstatement. He's been kind of going off some games, and he's just on my bench or in my IR
in the
slot on
IR.
my bench. I'm like, fucking A.
Darn it. But yeah, so hey, this next week gonna be intense.
It'll be big.
Alrighty, boys. Good job today. Well done. Is that it? Anybody got anything they wanna throw out there?
I think I'm all good.
Yeah. no.
Alrighty. Well, we will see you next time we pod. Don't know when that'll be. Could be next week. Could be the week after. We'll definitely have to do at least one before the start of the playoffs.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
end of March time ish. We'll
Yeah.
get something in. And then we'll have to do one once the playoff seeding gets set, because we got to do our picks, boys.
Or way
gotta
too
do our
early playoff
picks.
picks.
Well,
Our
no, we compare them
immediate-
to our picks from the beginning.
can do
of
that
the
too.
year.
We can do that too.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are
Oh, I'm gonna
always
look over.
beauties. Those are always beauties.
It would be funny if the Habs actually found a way to sneak in the 1 year
The 1
I
year you
don't.
didn't. They totally could. I'll tell you this. I know for a fact that I have Utah in the 3rd spot. And
I'm pretty
fairly
sure I said
certain
the Islanders were at the top of mine. So
you had the
Oh,
Islanders really
top.
high. You had them really high.
Did I say they were
As a
mid-
wild card, sure, the top.
I want to
Did
say
I
I
say
had
the
the Sens in 3rd.
yeah, you
You
definitely
had
did.
the Sens in there. I don't remember whereabouts, but you had them in there.
Come on, Senators. Actually, no, because the Lightning are in that spot. Never mind.
You're like, get out of here.
Just kidding. Don't do it.
Alright. Utah's only 4 points out of a wild card, though. Mike.
Come on, Utah. I had them in 3rd though.
Well, but that'd be close enough.
if they make it, I'm counting that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and let us know who you think made the biggest splash in the trade deadline, and let us know what your team did, and if you're disappointed or not disappointed. All right. See everybody next time.
Don't
Peace.
forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and leave a comment about balls or something. All right. Peace out.